Hi guys, today we will be making a video on how to find every elemental fruit in the game Kameo, Elements of Power. I'm going to be doing the sort of levels one by one, just so you can always pause and go back to them. So, for example, with this one, the Enchanted Kingdom, you're going to need sort of a varying sort of range of warriors. So this one you need Ash for, and you can't get Ash until you finish the Forgotten Forest. So this is sort of a side quest. His little son is trapped in there, basically. So there you go, just give you a quick dialogue.
You have to do something. My son is trapped in the darkest reaches of the dungeon and is in great peril. Please, use your warriors to save him.
In terms of sort of having to pause and come back to these sort of things, the Enchanted Kingdom and the Forgotten Forest are the main ones you're going to have to do that with.
Well done.
Because the Forgotten Forest, like a whole load of them seem to need Thermite, and he's the final warrior you get.
Fruit for your help.
Here you go, we've helped this guy, we've saved his son, and every time you help someone, they give you an elemental fruit that's worth 3 fruit. So it's always worth doing. There are 100 in total. Up that fruit in a minute. It's just through here there is an alternate skin for Ash, which is quite a funky one, you know, nice green dragon. And so quickly turn myself around. There's the fruit. Now, if you're not interested in getting any of the skins, you don't have to do that extra bit, but it's just something kind of nifty for you. I'm just going to do a quick transition to outside of the Chamber of Living Portraits. So you see that there's a fruit sort of here just hanging on the stalk, nice and easy. And next up we want to go into the Chamber of Living Portraits. So if you can sort of see right up ahead of us there, there's one of the Mystic's eyes, which I will cover in a separate video. So one of these plant pots has a fruit in it, and you can only break these with either Major Ruin or Thermite, but you don't get Thermite at the very end of the game, well, near the end of the game anyway, so it's easy to do it with Major Ruin. Here you get in the Mountain Falls. So you won't be able to do this right at the beginning of the game. Now, there should be a fruit hidden underneath the shoreline. So sort of right underneath the throne room. Right, so I think it's this one right here. One of the other shells does contain another one of the Mystic's eyes, which, to be fair, you can get pretty much as soon as you start the game, because you only need Pummelweed to get it. So with every shop, so in here, Mountain Falls, and the Snowtop Village, and Forgotten Forest, they'll all have sort of little shop vendors, and you can buy 2 elemental fruits and 1 elixir of life from each of them.
Never too busy to talk.
Wish I was stronger.
So there is a little side quest sort of next to the Mystic's Hut, where this guy has sort of very dried out fruits, basically, and he wants you to water them and he'll give you 3 fruit. But you can't do this until you have Deep Blue, which is attainable in the Mountain Falls. You have to sort of get your aim right on with these things. You can't just do a generic spray, which is kind of annoying. Sort of aim your sort of water spray with the right toggle. There we go. Just missed that last one there. There we go.
Oh,
3
that's
fruit out of that.
amazing. The plants look back to their old selves already. I don't know how to thank you, but maybe this elemental fruit can help you along.
Right, so the next one is next to Pommelweed's Shadow Well. You can get that right at the beginning of the game. I've just left it till now so I can sort of do the Enchanted Kingdom in one clean sweep, sort of with as many warriors as I have. Which, to be honest, I think you can do most of them sort of as soon as you have Chiller. So that's once you finish the Mountain Falls.
It's exhausting being funny.
The only thing you can't do in the Enchanted Kingdom is the Eye of Strength, which you need Thermite for, which is unfortunately the last Elemental Warrior.
I won't give up so easily.
Right, so this next one is another sort of little side quest. So it's basically you do Typhoon's quiz thing. Ironically, I do know all the answers to this, just because I've played the game so many times. But yeah, just sort of
It's
follow
a brave
my cues
adventurer.
on this.
Why not put your money where your mouth is and see if you really know what's going on? See if you can answer this one.
Right, so the answer to this one is 7.
Lucky guess.
It's basically how many Shadow Trolls you have to battle. So it's 5 for this one.
Lucky guess.
So this one's
lucky
8. You learn
guess.
that from the side quest on Mountain Falls. This one's 5.
Lucky guess.
That's 4, I believe.
I suppose you
And
deserve
Bluster's just
this.
a caretaker who doesn't have any kids.
Stop it!
So this will be another sort of little side quest. And sort of you go past Typhoon's house up towards where the Aunt Lenya memorial thing is. And this is where the mystery sign quest begins. So each village thing has these. So the Old Man's Shrine is Yeros, so that's sort of near the Chamber of Living Portraits.
Pummelweed.
Managed to go on the wrong gate, that's clever. It's not a disaster, you just sort of keep going past the dungeon, up the other side. Because the grass is sort of so long in this bit, it's quite annoying to sort of have to root through it all. But I do know it's here.
Aren't you one of Guster's children?
Oh, yes. It's quite peaceful out here.
Actually, I think it might be over this way. Oh, there it is. Sort of perched right on the corner. Right, so I think that's the balcony with the throne room. So all the way back the other way.
Who can I report him to?
It'll all come out in the wash.
Yeah, so that's just the little vendor woman that we bought some fruit from earlier. So but I think it's sort of behind her little shack thing.
Really?
It's you.
So the one that's using time is obviously the Mystic. So gotta go all the way down that little extra bit of the map.
Yes. We have to save them all.
There we go. Yeah, each village will have 5 of these signs, and I'll sort of, as they come, I'll walk you through each of them. So a quick time jump back to the Chamber of Living Portraits. One of these helicopter leaves has, there you go. I mean, it's always worth lifting all of them, so you do get some coins. So the next fruit is sort of right at the back of the Dungeon of Eternal Life. Like the first, I don't know, 20 times I've played this game, I never even thought that there might be a fruit hidden in one of these cauldron things. You can either knock these over with Chilla or with Ash, I think. I mean, do give it a go with Ash and let me know if it actually works. It's basically wait for all the petrol, or whatever you want to call it, to dry up. As well. So notice one of these. So give that one a go. Oh, there we go, it was this one here. I would never even have thought to look in one of those, and just one day I sort of stumbled across it like, oh, okay. So we're going to do a quick time jump to the throne room. So at the top of those sort of big fancy stairs. Much like in the Chamber of Living Portraits, these pots can only be smashed with made your own or thermite. It's worth smashing them all because some of them have got coins, but this one here has got a fruit. Right, so through this next bit is the chamber, not the Chamber of the Portraits, the ancient tower. And basically this has got a side quest as well as 2 or 3 fruit, just in chests and on stalks. And on top of that, there is the eye protection, so another one of the Mystic's eyes. So you can only sort of really do this level once you've got Chilla.
Hey, you! I'm not kidding around now. My kids are trapped somewhere in this tower, and if someone doesn't bring them back, I'm gonna start busting heads!
So with this slightly grumpy lady, she's basically lost all 3 of her kids somewhere in the ancient tower. And it's your job to go around defrosting all the ice cubes that you see with Ash, and one of them will hold her kids. So yeah, a tip with the ancient tower is literally anything you see, they're like crates or ice cubes or whatever, just smash them or slash burn them. There's bound to be something in them. So I think this little ice cube here has a fruit in it. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I always try and roll up that thing, but it never works. It looks like it should, but it doesn't. So go back to the bottom and use the same sort of ramp to bolt yourself up with Major Urn, and then turn into Chilla to climb up the wall. see this time I'm going the opposite way. Try and avoid the blue bugs, but sometimes it's unavoidable. Just falling flat on my back there. Right, so I think that ice block over there has got one of the squid lady's kids in it. And from memory, there's one on each level. And then once you've saved all 3 of them, she will give you an elemental fruit that's worth 3 normal fruit. Just a quick time jump to the beginning of the little ramp again. You sort of follow this wall around. Try not to get squished by bugs like I do. Up again. So, the end of this patch should bring you to the 2nd level. So, sort of like I said before, you just break every box, melt every ice block. But even if they don't have fruit, they'll give you coins. So, I'll just pick up the Mystic's Eye while I'm here. Now, I think there's a fruit behind these boxes. There it is. I'm just going to melt every ice block just so you don't have to, really. One of these, there we go, holds one of the kids. So this ramp over here will lead you to the final sort of level of the ancient tower. Again, I'm just going to melt all these blocks so you don't have to. There didn't have any coins in it. So it's best to sort of do it as you go up. So you also get an extra skin for Chiller whilst you're up here, which is quite nice. I quite like that one, to be fair. So squish a beetle. Oh, by process of elimination. There we go, that's the final child.
Oh, my babies, at last! Let's get out of here before anything else happens. Here, you can have this, I guess.
She doesn't seem very grateful, does she? There is a trick for getting back down the tower. Is to sort of find a hole in the side like this, not over the edge. And jump down and keep pulling RT, just keep clicking it, and then it means you won't basically die. But yeah, just keep clicking RT. I think there's a hole on the other side where you can literally go all the way down to the bottom, but you know, process is the same. There you go, nice quick way of getting down.
It's so cold.
Just make sure to collect my fruit. To be fair, I have forgotten one of the fruits on the first level, so I'm just going to do a quick jump back to that. So you see that chest over there that I forgot to open? There was a fruit in it. So So yeah, like I said, it's very important you break open or sort of defrost every ice block and chest, etc. in this tower, because there seems to be something everywhere. Right, that is fruit in the Enchanted Kingdom done. So here we've sort of moved over to the Forgotten Forest. Just going to buy one of his fruits. Okay, always make sure that you buy 2. One of these should hold a fruit. That was a good lucky guess. It's worth lifting all the other helicopter leaf things, just because they'll hold coins, etc. But I'll just move on to the next bit. So this guy, Creep, I think his name is that boulder's blocking his home. There you go, that's worth 3 fruit.
That is, thanks. Here, take this for your troubles, and let's leave it at that. Off to relax, eh?
Now there's a couple of fruit to get in this sort of tree branch thing here. But the first one is sort of in the middle room where you have to defeat the little bug's nest thing, but I'll show you how to do it. And just avoid these guys. Underneath this next bit. Okay, so it's easy to use ash to get rid of this, but I'm just being lazy. Just like using thermite, I'm not gonna lie. Right, so one of the pods in the ceiling holds a fruit. So, aim for these. There it is, just falling down. Right, there will be another one if we sort of keep getting through. But I took too long, so it's respawned the bug thing. And we should move on. So the next one, I think, is right opposite Rubble's Shadow Well. And you have to use Rubble to open it. So usually it's easier to do it straight after you've got him. Try and do it without falling blood on your face. Nice, so I'll just sort of try and remember where his Shadow Well actually is. It's basically keep going through and open up this guy. So use Rubble, sort of sit yourself on the platform and chip a rock into his mouth. There's a statue sort of over there. That one also contains a elixir of life, which I will cover in a separate video. Right, so the next one is a side quest where we have to go and rescue someone called Dill. So basically what's happened is a whole load of trolls have invaded his home and you have to clear the house out for him.
You there! Yes, you! Do something to get these beasts out of my home. I'll reward you, I promise. Just please sort this mess out.
Right, it's personal preference who you use, but it does depend how far you are in the game. So you likely only have Pummleweed, Rubble and or Ash. But I'm just using Chiller because it's quick. There you go.
My word, that was impressive. Reward? Well, I don't remember mentioning such a thing, but if you insist. Will this do?
I don't get why some of them are stingy about giving you a piece of fruit. Oh, 3 coins.
Have you seen saffron? Why?
To be fair, I think there is a fruit sort of on a stalk just behind Creeper's home. So he was the guy with the boulder in front of it that we blew out of the way with thermite. So I'll just go through that now. So the next one is right at the beginning of the level when you enter the Forgotten Forest glade from the Badlands. So I'll take you sort of back to that little patch. You can't miss it, it's literally right as you walk in. So there you go. The next one, I think it's behind the house that's sort of next to the little vendor guy. This little shopping stall thing. I'll just sort of head down there now. If the memory serves me right, it should be behind these boxes. There it is. And if you go inside the hut, there's someone that's in trouble. I think his house has been invaded by beetles.
You've got to do
So you
something
basically
to
just
help
have
me.
to get rid of all the
My hut's
beetles.
been invaded by horrible, slimy beetles. Do something, please.
It's not too tricky. I prefer to use ash just before sort of fire is guaranteed to kill off the nest, basically. So the habit of respawning if you tend to use someone else. You do get ash after completing the Forgotten Forest temple level, by the way. Last beetle, and there's another fruit.
Just like that, the beetles are gone. I don't have much to offer, but please take this as a reward. That's the one that saved me.
Right, so next up is the mystery fruit signs sort of side quest thing. Much like in the Enchanted Kingdom, every village has one of these. So the first one is sort of right over by the beginning over here. Well, sort of beginning. It's opposite Creeper's home. So that's down at the little bar. All the way down the other end.
How do?
So this next one should be next to the jukebox in the bar.
How's it going? Are you holding up? Sure.
Now, I think with this one, it's on top of one of these sort of tree trunk things that's just sort of bobbing about in the water. But I will show you exactly where you need to go. Right, so it should be on the left one here. There we go. So we have to go up that sort of branch that had all the bugs in there, which was kind of annoying. So I've just come out of that. But it's only halfway up this one that you need to go. I was hoping to not have to defeat this thing again. So sort of like there's two gaps in the branch, so sort of the bit we just passed there, and then there's a bit ahead here. It's this bit that's up ahead that's holding the sign. I'm actually getting confused. Which is not great when you're trying to film a tutorial, is it? There it is. But that basically means it's behind Dill's house. so this should now produce the final fruit. So there should be one more left in the Forgotten Forest glade, but that's in the Ogre Swamp, which you can't do until you are on the quest to get thermite. So you sort of see the page missing there. So I've just opened up the Shadow Well. I have done a separate video on how to do that if you are stuck. So just go straight past the Shadow Well and you will see a fruit growing on a stalk. Oh wow, that's a stone chest. There we go. And I think that is the final one in the Forgotten Forest glade area. And we should move on to the Mountain Falls. So that's the entrance, or just there from the Badlands. I've kept this bit in just in case you needed a hand to sort of open up the entrance. Just the ash to be nice and helpful. Right, so I'm just going to do a quick time jump to the Lobster Hollow. This is after you've got Major Ruin. So you should dash into... There you go. All the lobster crates hold something, mostly coins, but that one did hold an elemental fruit. Annoyingly, the stone chest can only be blown up with something explosive, so either with thermite, who you don't have yet, not by far, or by using one of those boom plants. They tend to just hold coins rather than fruit, so I'm just going to skip it for now. It's just a cutscene for Deep Blue's Shadow Troll. He's disappearing off up Mountain Rise, which is, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pain to get up. I have done a separate sort of tutorial for that because it is just painful. So we've got a nice fruit there. So I'm going to start the mystery sign quest here. So the next one is sort of where the starfish moping guy is. It's sort of like a little ledge. Sort of, if I keep going straight ahead, up there is a sign. Right, that's telling you to go search the Shrine of Light. The Shrine of Light part is a side quest worth doing. It's sort of basically you have to light all the torches and they'll give you a fruit. But I will come round to that. And in the back entrance there is also an elixir of life that you want to grab. So wise old squid, that's, I think his name's Squibble. It's a scribble shop or something like that. And that looks a tad painful.
Seems nervous.
So sort of doing a quick look around the scenery. So down sort of one of these waterfalls, I don't actually remember which one it is. That one over there is where the water temple is, but you don't do that until you've got Deep Blue. So it's Mountain Rise up there, but I will cover that in a separate video because it's far too long to sort of cover in this, and there's also no fruits in it. I knew there was a fruit up here. So that, I think that one you have to like build a bridge with the rock tie. I think it's sort of near the sort of treasure cave / Enchanted Kingdom warp. It would help if I went the right way to begin with. So basically we need to get one of those boom boom plants and sort of set it off near him, and then go set ourselves on the platform that was on that edge over there with rubble, which will then sort of force him to make a bridge for us. Just try and get that as close to him as possible before setting off with Ash. And then we have a fairly decent radius, so we nudge that towards him and then run away. Make sure you change into rubble before he has a chance to reform himself, and then plonk yourself on that little podium there. And there's your final sign. That's what you'll see over there. There's another fruit that I will dash across and grab in a minute. There's the next one to add to the inventory. It's handy when it turns back to daylight, because it's really difficult sort of trying to navigate all this in the dark. Right, so one of these sort of gel things has got a fruit underneath it. Will I remember which one? No. There it is.
All those other guys around here, rotten as they come, I tell you. If you want a fair deal, come back and spend your money here.
As usual, buy your 2 fruit from the vendor.
You can't afford this.
I mean, whilst you're here, do also buy the elixir of life, but I'm going to do that separately in another video.
What a sorry bunch of people.
I should move on and do the Shrine of Light side quest. So basically you have to light all these torches around the shrine. I'll go talk to the guy first just so you sort of see what he wants.
Move it, buddy.
Yeah, he will reward you with 3 normal fruit for sort of helping him out.
This is the Shrine of Light, our famous monument. It can, or at least it could have been seen for miles around. But now, the torches, it's too up.
Sort of giving you a bit of an obvious hint there on what you're meant to be lighting. So you sort of do that with Ash's Wildfire. And that sort of dial thing shows you how many you've got left to do. So there's a mix of torches inside and outside of the shrine. So sort of you'll see this one over there. You can do it from here or you can do it from the other side. Basically, it's up to you. Sometimes I like to try and do them from the other side just to see what my aim's like, but sometimes I get too annoyed. So that one's going to be tricky to do, so I might have to give up on that one and try from the other entrance. There's one of the outside torches. And here's another. Yeah, the final one's in a nice easy spot for you. Not the final one, penultimate one. My bad. There's the final one. Right next to the elixir of life. I'm not going to grab that right now, just because I will cover it in my other video.
Me! This is all I have to offer, apart from my undying gratitude. Thank you so much.
Move it, buddy.
You just have to go around the other entrance to grab that. Take the nice easy exit. Can't really go wrong if you're jumping into water, can you?
Hey.
To be fair, I think I only bought one elemental fruit before, so I just
All
sort
those
of
other guys are.
do a visit to my little mate here. So I should teach you how to get the fruit that's hidden inside the stone chest in here. So you have to basically detach one of these boom boom plant things and roll it right into the middle of all the chests, sort of, so you can get all of them in one go. Not just roll past it like I did. Sometimes you're lucky and for some reason Major Run just rushing into it sets it off, but a lot of the time you will have to use ash to light it. There you go. And there's one fairy fruit over there. So grab the coins before they disappear. Just looking for any extra coins, to be fair. Right, there we go. Right, the next one, there's two of those water trolls guarding a house. I think his name's Rufus or something, the guy that actually owns the house. But with these, you have to use deep blue to sort of turn them from invisible to visible, and then I like to use drag pull to sort of get rid of them. Or I could just ignore my own advice and try use Major Ruin, but as you can see, it doesn't do anything.
Collecting elemental fruit will enhance.
So drag pull is a move that you have to upgrade, but it is worth doing, particularly for trolls like these. I'm just going to give them a quick upgrade. And that should help me see them off. Spirit bar's about to run out. So I basically got to run away from this guy until he refills. Or equip the Eye of Spirit. That's quite a good one. It's probably my favourite of the 4 eyes. Again, I will cover how to catch all 4 of the Mystic's eyes in another video.
Whoa,
Okay, nice
you
reward.
fought like a tornado, and it all seems to have calmed down in here. That's great. This is all I have to offer, but please take it.
So the next side quest is a little bit lengthy. You've got to return the pearls to the starfish holders. They're sort of held in the middle of the map. And you can only do that by basically shooting these things open. Let's call this a bit of fast forward because it does take a long time. My approach is generally just shoot them all, and then eventually the pearls do bob up. Just sort of try and push along. And then once you've got them out of the water, as well as you can do, use the spray move by Deep Blue. It's just so much easier than trying to push it in the water, but, you know, sometimes you don't have a choice. So, yeah, as soon as they're out, just use spray. Right, so you're going to have to spray this into the little holder. There we go. I think there's 4 in total. So hence why I've done this in fast forward, otherwise it would take hours. My advice when you're sort of pushing these along in the water is just do it very slowly. So if you move too fast, it ends up sort of getting bounced all over the place, and it's just painful, a bit like that. So yeah, you just want to use your little spray cannon things again. See, I've done that, but that's quite frustrating, so I've just kicked it back into the water. So I think there's 1 more to go then. There it is, it's just about to bob up on the left. Honestly, pushing anything in the water is so tricky. Especially Deep Blueies, he's big, but he's a bit cumbersome. Yay! Free fruit.
Replacements? They're tiny. I'm not going to give you a cash reward for these miserable substitutes, but I suppose you can have this.
Honestly, so I'm grateful. But you see that his wife moves away from the entrance to his house over there, and inside the house is an elixir of life, which again I will cover in another video. But yeah, it's kind of a nifty fact to know.
Are you responsible for helping my husband? If so, the art community owes you a debt for helping one of its greatest talents. What an awful smell! People are basically all... Here's something.
Nice, so the treasure cave through here is always worth exploring. There's a side quest where someone will offer you 3 fruit, and there's also 2 or 3 fruits actually in there as well. as well as a new skin for Deep Blue, which is kind of handy. There's our first of many fruits. I do quite like the treasure notes around the cave, they do kind of make you laugh. Yeah, so these weirdly shaped things are actually ramps. I just can't actually use my drink, so I'm being a bit useless here. Right, okay, third time lucky. Hey! Yeah, so there is a water troll in this bit. So he's got a fruit sort of inside him, you can sort of see it there. So I just use my usual drag pull tactic and the fruit's going to appear. So yay, free fruit. Oh no, it's the wrong way. Need to get back up again. Yeah, so definitely not that way, that's the way back in. And so we want to sort of go all the way along here. Try and avoid these guys.
Hey, if you got in here, like maybe you could help me? My boyfriend Mizu is trapped in this cave and I can't get to him. Would you free him for me?
To be fair, he is a very easy side quest. He's sort of being protected with, I don't know, like blue noodles, if that's the right word to use. And you have to use rubble to blind the things that are basically protecting him or sheltering him, whatever you want to call it. And going around smashing crates to see if there's anything worth grabbing. It turns out there wasn't. And I'm just going to be petty because I want to sort of annoy these guys. So you can't use moves like drag pull when you're too far in the water. So that's why I'm sort of trying to tempt him over to this bridge thing over here. This is the bit that allows you to do the side quest. You need to change to rubble, and like 4 eyes will flip around in a minute. And you need to use Rubble's blast technique. And blinds them and sets him free.
You idiot! I've been hiding out in here away from that obsessive brat. And now you've ruined everything. She won't leave me alone.
Yippee! You made me so happy! The least I can do is give you the special fruit I found. Go on, take it.
Honestly, some people are so ungrateful. Not her, the boyfriend. I should go grab my fruit reward thing that the nice little lady left me. Oh, it looks like another one inside the water troll. So I can't do drug pull where the water's too deep. You sort of tempt them near some kind of edge. Or if you just get annoyed, just use pummel weave. Well, preferably before they turn invisible. I'm sort of constantly keeping an eye on my sort of LT and RT moves. Yay! Always worth grabbing some extra coins.
Major ruin.
Right, so down here, like where the boyfriend was hiding, there should be a fruit in this chest. There we go. Right, so through this next bit there will be like a sort of the extra hidden treasure is down here. Sort of, if you remember the pirate sort of left a note. I see bugs everywhere. There he goes, left us another note. I'll take that as challenge accepted. Right, so dive on in here, switch to deep blue, and it's basically a tunnel that you have to sort of follow its, follow through. And you can open all of these clamshell things, but it's not really worth it. You sort of follow this tunnel all the way up, and you end up in like a little secret room thing. You'll see he's got some of those treasure boxes, chests there. And there is Deep Blue's extra skin. The notes are always quite funny. I know that's not part of the elemental fruit sort of side quest, but it's always worth doing. Just sort of for the skin and yeah, just for the lols, I guess. Right, so for the way out, I should just do this bit in fast forward. There's sort of nothing else to get now, so it's just sort of, yeah, getting all the way back out. So I've kept this in the video just in case you needed a bit of a guide on how to get back out, really. But yeah, fast forwarded in case you didn't really need it. Right, for the next fruit you will need Chiller, which you get after rescuing Harmonia. There you go, you sort of aim for the coconuts in the tree, and one has dropped. Now from memory, one of these trees also has coconuts that contain an elemental fruit. Yay! Right, that should be the Mountain Falls elemental fruit done. So we'll move on to the Snowtop Village. Sort of, there is one very early on. And here it's sort of frozen in sort of an ice block thing, sort of hanging.
Can you fly like that?
There you go, the sort of frozen acorn. I'm just trying to avoid these bugs. When opening up the entrance, try and sort of shoot for the dragon when it's near that sort of hole under the bridge, so it gives you more time to get the exploding egg thingamajigs right up against the boulder.
don't have time to talk. One of the dragons has gone berserk and abducted my little girl. Please, do something to help if you can.
Right, so this is a side quest. It'll sort of give you a little cutscene here that basically a dragon's run off with her daughter. And you have to keep hitting the dragon until you return it home. But I will show you step by step how to do that. You see him sort of hovering above us just ahead there. Like one spike with Cello will move him on to his next place. Actually, I swear those bugs have got it in for me. Right, so you see that sort of entrance is blocked by a boulder over there. You need to wake up the dragon in there and then hit it with Chiller and it will drop an egg that you then need to sort of push over there. So you wake up the dragon by sort of shaking this thing loose and just run a bit and chuck it. That's all you need to do.
What a lazy dragon.
Come and shop in style. Finest provisions.
I like to have deep blue ready because he's very good sort of for pushing big heavy things, much like I used with the pearls in Mountain Falls. Sort of use his body to get it most of the way, and anything that requires a bit more technicality, just use his spray cannons. Try not to drop it over the edge. It's a very common mistake, happens a lot. If you happen to drop it over the edge or you lose it or it goes off or whatever, it's no biggie. You can just sort of go hit the dragon for another one. Right, so we need to aim for this guy. Now I think we have to go all the way back to the beginning to where the mum is. So that should be nice and easy to return her home. So it's basically goes all the way back to where we started. So just jump down the tree. And you want the entrance that looks sort of very wooden. And keep going round. There we go. So all the way up the other end of that. Where's it gone? There it is. And there's 3 fruit.
Lizzie! Oh, my little dear. I thought I'd never see you again. We don't have much to reward you for your kindness, except this.
Well, at least she was one of the more grateful people.
You'd better watch out!
Are you the one that saved me? I was just playing a game with my brother and the dragon came along. I thought I'd be eaten up.
Right, so we'll restart at the bottom of the tree here. So Chum's Den. That's sort of like a mini side quest thing. He'll give you 3 blocks of ice, and whatever you melt,
It's
you
good
get
to
to keep.
play together. Of course, I don't expect you to win, but at least
But
you
the
have
general
been
rule is
beaten
always
by
go
the
for
best.
the one on the left.
Here are the challenge rules.
And because it's the first time I'm playing the game, he should give me an elemental fruit.
You won a special prize.
I'll do a quick time jump to sort of the vendor over here. So I don't think I've bought anything off there yet.
These are heavy.
Now, I think the middle ice block here has got an elemental fruit in. Yay! Another one to add to the collection.
That silly fool. I told him that wandering off at his age was dangerous, but he had to go and investigate the frozen branches. Now I don't know where he's gone.
I think it's just that. Basically, her husband's gone missing. He's frozen inside a block of ice, basically through the other side. So we have to shoot the poor dragon again and try and get rid of the boulder that's in the way of the next entrance. Try and do it with just Deep Blue's body if there's sort of fences in the way, because you just bounce off the fences otherwise the water cannons will just sort of break them. Okay, so her husband will be in one of these. I'm going to try and let all of them just to see if I can get myself a fruit and or coins.
I warned you not to go wandering off, you wrinkly old dope. Get back here this instant. And you can have this for your trouble.
Hey, free fruit. Remember to keep using all the fruits that you gain to upgrade all of your elemental warriors. Right, on to the next one. So with this next bit, I often find myself returning to sort of the next little bit over there. And there's a fruit sort of right at the bottom. So I'm going to use Major Run to sort of dash over this and just drop. Should be a fruit on one of these. Oh, no, it was there. I have no idea why I thought it was in a block of ice. No, we still have our fruit nevertheless. I'm going to do a quick time jump to Crystal Grotto, which is 40 blows, sort of Shadow Well area.
Don't you know how dangerous it is to enter a place unprepared? If you want to defeat that troll, you'll have to snatch its shield away when it readies an attack.
Right, these guys are fairly easy to defeat. You use Flex to sort of snatch the shield away when it's glowing, and then just use Ash to burn them. You don't have to aim, just click LT and RT very quickly. So you do it about now. Switch to Ash, quickly chase him down before he has a chance to reform his shield. And that should open up 40 below Shadow Well. I mean, that's not what we're here today, but you know, still helps. Now, I believe that hanging acorn over there has got a fruit in it. That was a lucky guess. Right, so there should be fruit behind his Shadow Well in this one here. So it is always worth melting the ice blocks when you see them. I'm just going to quick time jump to after we've defeated the Shadow Troll. Now, 40 below is needed as he's the only one that can break the ice chests. So here, let me show you what one of them is. They're kind of invisible until he turns up. And there you go. You get a fruit for your efforts.
Now you can use the ancient ice paths used by our people. But don't try walking on them as anything else. That'd just be stupid.
Right, so this cutscene is basically just showing you what the ice paths are, and yeah, you can travel on those with 40 below, which is kind of nifty. That path is not the easiest way to get to the Shadow Temple. Sort of one of them next to the Snowtop Schoolhouse. Just showing you how to use the path here. This one's got nice sort of grooves at the side so you can't fall off. Right, so this is the Snowtop Schoolhouse, and this is the path that I recommend you take to the Snowtop Temple. But I'm going down it right now because there is a elemental fruit just here. There is also another one at the end of the path, so sort of continue going and just break that ice chest. So you can get to the Snow Temple by aiming for the blicky tongue things with flex. Next we find ourselves back at Tom's Den. This is now going to be the mystery sign sort of side quest, so there's 5 of these. So we need to go to the lovely vendor lady.
Chiller.
Whilst we're here, there is also an elemental fruit sort of in the frozen acorns above her stall. So there we go. So pick this one up and there should be a mystery sign around the back. So the next one is that part where it was the nice ramp with Major Rome. And remember I said drop straight down. So we're basically going back down there. So if I just turn around a bit more. There it is. So that's sort of where we went to go to 40 Below's well, I think. Just moments like this you realise how helpful Flex is, to be honest. And there lies our next sign. So that next sign is literally right next to the entrance for the Snow Temple. So that you remember that path we took. Sort of here we go. So sort of continue on, and now we're going to use Flex to sort of jump away up. So I think you have to do this 2 or 3 times. You can use the ice path to sort of land in, but it's painful. So there we go. So the sign from memory, I think, is sort of on the left. sort of just around the edge of the rock. There it is, and you see the ice path there. That has a fruit sort of hidden around the back as well. There we go. And that's the Snowtop Village fruit all done. I will do a little time jump over to the Badlands. Just a quick word of advice, it does help to look at whereabouts I am on the map when I'm doing the Badlands ones, because sort of a lot of them look very similar. And yeah, it's just easy to look at sort of where my little triangle is on the map. I'm sort of doing this part sort of towards the last quarter of the game, I'd call it, maybe. So everyone's still sort of actively fighting, sort of getting in my way a little bit. So this house here should have a fruit on a stalk, so nice and easy to grab hold of. If in doubt, smash furniture. There it is. And the next one neighbour will have one of the warrior trainer challenges in it, and if you complete it successfully, then you get given an elemental fruit as a prize. He only does this for the first time you do it though, so there's no point doing it over and over again. Just burn all the furniture. I knew that one had one. Didn't want to say in case I jinxed it. No. So we should go do the warrior trainer quest. So you see those two signs there. This means that there's two challenges here. It's Troll Trouble and Elemental Evil.
Kameo. I wasn't certain you'd find this place, but if you're here, you must be confident enough to attempt some of my challenges. If you succeed, you'll be rewarded. You'll need to keep in fighting form if you're to survive. Why not hone your skills with a challenge?
I'm going to do Troll Trouble just because
Make sure
Elemental
to
Evil, you need to have all of your warriors before you do that one. So my advice for beating this one is start off as Ash and then change into Deep Blue and use the Slick Jet move. It sort of should automatically just come out in flames and just keep going. It helps to have the Eye of Spirit equipped, but not a disaster if you don't. And yeah, you just keep going until you run out of time. You'll be able to beat the 40 limit easily. I have sped this part up because it is much of the same and it's fairly easy to sort of grasp hold of.
Most impressive. Take this reward for a job well done.
Need free fruit.
All right, be on your way. But remember, you won't improve your skills if you don't practice.
I'll pop this bit fast forward as it is quite a lengthy journey. Sort of the entrance to the Forgotten Forest. In here there are some trolls. You just have to basically defeat them. And in the ceiling there's going to be like a coconut pod kind of looking thing. You have to pierce that with Chiller, and that will have a fruit in it. Nice, that should be the trolls out of the way. Right, it's one of these. Right, so by process of elimination, there we go. I'll put myself back into fast forward again, I think. So this next hut is sort of just below Mountain Falls. Yeah, so houses another one of the warrior trainer challenges. Right, so I believe this one's called Pumpkin Panic. It's very easy. You just, I prefer to use rubble.
Back again. Very well. Accept your challenge and let's begin. But don't expect me to go easy on you. These are the rules of the challenge. Make sure to stick to them, as I'll be keeping a close eye on you.
I will pop this in fast forward as it's very much sort of the same. But yeah, turn into rubble. Make sure you've got the Eye of Spirit equipped if you've got it. And just keep doing blast. Just over and over again. That's all you've got to do. As the pumpkins respawn, like your rocks will catch them on the way back as well. So really very easy. Right, we've already beaten the target and we've still got 20 seconds to go, so loads of time. And of course, if you'd like to experiment, then please do. And I'd love to know sort of what everyone else does with this kind of thing, but I've just found this is the easiest way.
Take this reward for a job well done.
There's a reward fruit.
All right, be on your way. But remember, you won't improve your skills if you don't practice.
I'll do some more fast forwarding for the excess travel time. Now this hut does have an alternate skin for snare, but because I'm not that far in the game yet, I can't claim it. But, you know, it's a nice Easter egg for you. But yeah, off to the next Warrior Trainer challenge. Now I think this one is Beetle Brawl, which again, very easy.
You'll need to keep in fighting form if you're to survive. Why not hone your skills?
The hardest one is definitely
These are the rules.
Elemental Evil, the final one. So much like with Pumpkin Panic, I prefer to use rubble because they can't really attack you other than just to bump into you. It'd be a bit annoying. And the good thing about them being a moving target as well is sometimes they move into the path of your rocks. So yeah, I will speed this up just to sort of get you through the challenge a little bit quicker.
Most impressive. Take this reward for a job well done.
And there's our fruit for winning that challenge.
All right, be on your way. But remember, you won't improve your skills if you don't practice.
So this next one, I personally only really like doing after I've got thermite. Just because it's shield trolls and they can be a little bit painful. It's doable with some of the others, but you know, thermite's my favourite. Annoyingly, inside that chest in the middle was a nice elemental fruit, so just get rid of them because they're being a bit inconvenient now. There's another one for the inventory. To be fair, now I have all of my elemental warriors, I should head back to my original challenge. So that was the one with Troll Trouble and Elemental Evil. So now we have them all, we can do Elemental Evil. You can follow the ones I'm equipping right now, or you can choose your own. It's tricky to remember which trolls come first in this challenge. I have a funny feeling it's the grass ones. So deep blue and ash is a very good combo there.
The trolls, so return here as often as you'd like. These are the rules of the challenge. Make sure to stick to them, as I'll be keeping a close eye on you.
So you can pull it with the right trigger. So keep going till they're all gone. Now I think the next wave is fire trolls, which I absolutely hate, but you know, that's why it's Elemental Evil, you sort of get all sorts of trolls. Right, okay, so am I going to be right? Knew it. I was really hoping for someone else. But yeah, just keep sort of blasting your little water cannon things at them. I think they're one of the most irritating troll types to fight. Not difficult, just annoying. Okay, so these guys, the best gun is thermite. If you've evolved bombs, great. Basically called atom splitter or something. As that then basically turns his big bomb into 3 little bombs, which is good. So just keep getting out of the way of their little earthquake things. And just keep sort of start zeroing in a circle, throwing your little bombs until they all disappear. Now these guys are pretty easy. So go for Ash and then set off his incinerator move. Because they'll keep sort of running towards you, so you might as well set off a move that will catch them in it. And it's a lot more sort of time effective than Inferno or Fireblaze. And it sort of dispatches them very quickly. Oh, I hate these guys. Right, so my favourite approach is just deep blue, sort of get them wet and drag them under the drag pull. Yeah, there's probably a more efficient way of doing it, but this is my favourite way of doing it. try not to take too much of a kick on myself, to be fair. This is your final wave of like single trolls. Once these guys are all gone, they're going to sort of spawn in lots of different types. Personally, just keep throwing bombs with thermite. That's probably your best approach. You're not going to get the water type trolls, no. But at least you catch a couple. You need to get rid of those rock type ones first. Just because as you're trying to sort of dispatch some of the other ones, you're getting sort of pummeled with their attacks. So just keep picking off one by one until your time runs out, basically. We're going to get this next. Oh, I love the grass type, nice and easy. I'm sure they have a technical term rather than just grass type, but you know, it needs must.
Most impressive. Take this reward for a job well done.
And that's our final warrior trainer done.
All right, be on your way. But remember,
I'm hoping that
won't
was our
improve
final
your
fruit,
skills
to
if
be
you don't
fair.
practice.
I will just do a double check, sort of check the whatnot. It'll tell you how many fruit I've got. There should be 100. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please do drop a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. And, there you go, 100.